I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
It's the GH report. We got warehouses explode and Jason walking slow, looking cool. Got some baggy jeans though. Come on, dude. All right, everybody, welcome to the GH report. Bringing out everything that's happening on General Hospital, airing this week here at ABC. But I'm not just doing it alone. When such drama that everybody's been waiting for happens, there's only one person you can go to make sure you get the full hot takes that you're looking for. That is the one, the only, James Lott Jr.
I'm back, bitches. I'm here. We got to talk about
that. All those hot takes.
Yeah, we got to, yeah. We're going to talk about it.
Oh, so folks, like us on Facebook, give us those 5 stars on iTunes, subscribe to the YouTube channel. The chat is up and running, folks. I know you're already in it, sharing your thoughts, so feel free to chime in about anything that we're talking about, because we're going to be talking about a lot. And maybe not all of it will be positive, but I mean, it would be Shady Sunday otherwise, right?
Yeah. Shady Sunday.
So, James, I will ask you, what did you think of this week overall?
First of all, hello to everybody in chat room. I see you guys in there. I see everybody. Hi, Peter and Jeannie. I'll do this for Carla Renata because she's busy being famous right now. So take care of her. Annie Goen, Kelly Public Cover, Patrick Say, Jeannie, DT Dore, Susan Russo. Hi, you guys. This week actually was good on some level. On another level, I wasn't that happy. There were some cool scenes. There were some scenes I thought that were weird. We'll figure out. And I did cry a little bit on Friday. That's my week. How about you, Frank?
I did like how you said good.
Good?
It's like, maybe. Overall, I just thought for the longest time that we were drawing out this baby swap storyline, it didn't land as hard as I would have liked to have. I just don't think they quite stuck the landing. I feel like they kind of when you watch one of those awkward skydiving videos and you see that person kind of going down and they just eat it horribly right at the end. You're looking good, and then you botched it right there at the end.
Yes. Okay.
So I feel like everybody's been waiting for the storyline. So I feel like we should just dive into this one because there's going to be a lot to say about this.
Yes.
So James, we talked a little bit about it last week. Has it been stretched too long? You seem to be fine with the pacing of it so far. Were you fine with the revelation?
Actually, I was. I felt like the pacing was old soap school style, where it took a while for it to come out. I didn't realize it had been over a year, just about. Like, it was gone for a long time. Like that, it didn't seem like it had been that long, but it has. But to me, the pacing was old soap school. Loved it. And I didn't mind that. I'm glad it came out now, because I think if it went on any longer, it would have been too long. But I felt for me that the pacing was good. And to answer your question, the pacing was good. So I was happy that it came out this week.
The big reveal happens. Lucas finally remembers everything. I did like how everybody's just that whole scene over at the Corinthos household, which is supposed to be a fond farewell to Brad and Lucas as they're moving to Portland with Wiley. But Lucas, as more people are talking and Nell pops up for a hot second, he starts having more memories about the night of the car crash where Brad told him everything. And you see him kind of trying. The way that scene played out, where there's just a lot of like distracted looking from Lucas.
Yeah. I know what they were trying to do. I see what they were trying to do was like in the middle of like regular life, and they're all kind of talking that all of a sudden he's getting these memories. And I think maybe the direction was a little weird or something. I think I feel you a little bit there. But I'm glad that it just came out. Like they didn't drag that out, which, yes. Some soaps have done that.
No, that's true. And I don't know, maybe it was the camera angles they chose where they kind of shoot him from like low, looking up, and you're like, all right. Okay.
Have you know, Frank, this last couple of weeks, I've been trying some interesting camera angle stuff. Now, my buddy, I love Fido Xavier, is my buddy. One of the, he came to our show when you were there. We were there. We like him. But I've been noticing they've been trying different, even the jail scenes. They've been trying some new camera work. So I don't know about that either.
Yeah, there are some times where they are there. You feel like they're very much on the Steadicam, kind of running along with them, and I'm just like, I don't know. Sometimes it's okay.
It's a little jarring a little bit because I know what they're trying to do. Again, I know what they're trying to do. And with soaps, they've been on for 10,000 years. They're trying something different. I mean, it doesn't always work. It doesn't always land. But, I give them points for trying.
Yeah. It's I agree with you that I did like that once Lucas, all his memories click into place, that he doesn't hesitate telling Michael what's up. It's not one of those like, I got to wait and talk to Brad about this and we'll kind of draw it out a little longer. No, it's like pop up, boom, this is what the deal is.
Yes, I'm so glad that they didn't drag that out because I would have been pissed. Because right now on Bold and the Beautiful, that's what they're doing right now. It's one storyline and every day it's like, well, I don't know. Well, maybe I'll go. Well, I gotta go talk to somebody else first. I'm like, no, tell them what's going on. Like, tell them that's telling me. So I'm glad that they just quickly said, okay, Lucas remembers, he blurts it out, and life goes on from there.
Now, I've been reading on social media and reviews online, and I'm sure you've probably heard that too. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts. People were feeling that once the reveal happened, it became very Carly focused as opposed to Michael. How did you feel?
If you listen to my latest podcast, Jason Spotlight, I bring that up because it felt like, was this Michael's moment or Carly's moment? Like, it was kind of like, well, this is happening to Michael. Yes, Carly would be upset and would have something to say about it, clearly. I felt like the whole Carly dialogue should have been Lucas, and at the end, Michael. At the end, it should have been what Michael said at the end should have been Carly. I feel like it should have been reversed. Like her come at the end, throw some digs in, as Carly would do.
Yeah.
But it should have been Michael the whole time.
It is interesting how it has been made to seem like Carly's like, well, it's all Nell's trying to get at me. It's all about me. And I'm like, all right, I guess. It just felt weird to have her take such focus in this storyline when you really want to see how Lucas and Michael are going to react to this. And I felt like Brad, it felt almost kind of tepid because Wiley's not there at first, but it seemed like very kind of tepid in terms of I was expecting a lot more fury and anger and it took a while before we even got Michael to get like that with Brad.
Well, somebody said to me online, answer to my thing, they said that they feel like Michael was in shock. So that's probably why he didn't go off at first. I guess I can kind of buy that. I guess I don't know about Frank. I don't know if you could buy. Maybe you could buy that. I don't know. I just felt like Michael should have went off. That whole scene, all that dialogue should have been Michael saying it to him, to Brad. How dare you do this? How did it happen? What went on? But they're saying they were playing it as he was kind of just in shock and trying to take it all in. So Carly was the gatherer of the information, and Michael was kind of sitting there. She was Mama Bear. He was sitting there.
I did like at least the line where Carly says, no, we're going to take it step by step as you're breaking this all down. We want to know everything.
Oh, no, my favorite line. No, Frank, my favorite line was when she's talking to Jason. I know it's like a hypocrite, but I don't care. I was like, yeah, you can take Michael from AJ. Like, it was a whole different time. But she acknowledged it. She goes, I don't care if it's like a hypocrite, but I don't care. I was like, that's the best line to me of the evening because we were all thinking it. We were all thinking it.
No, that's true. I mean, she's like, when we did it, it was to keep him away from AJ, who was terrible. Who would want to keep anybody away from Michael? He's great.
I just love that they acknowledged that. It was like, wait, okay, Carly, you did wrong too, girl. But that was a good line. Carly's like, yeah, let's break this down for a second. Carly got a little gangster for a second. So let's break this down. She's from Florida. She's from a trailer. She's a little gangster. She was like, I want to know step by step how the F this happened. She wanted to know. And Brad told it.
What I love about the guy, Perry, who plays Brad, I do love his social media where he's been having fun playing those clips and reacting to those this week. I did enjoy those.
Him and our girl Kathleen Gotti have been going back and forth on social media because remember, she's kind of, they mentioned her, but she, hasn't been really mentioned, but it was like, stay out of my thread. And it was really fun watching them go back and forth. It's just so funny. And I mean, I'll give you points. I mean, Julian was almost cussed for a second. He was S-ing bricks standing there when the whole thing was coming out.
Oh, he was so quiet. And Lucas, maybe we should go if you want. No. I feel like I'm kind of and maybe we're going to see more of this with Lucas, but I just, when we cut away where it's Bobbie, Carly, Lucas, and Wiley in the Corinthos kitchen. They're feeding Wiley. And Lucas is like, oh, yeah, I know much Brad cares about us. There were moments where I just felt like the impact of this life-changing thing just wasn't really being played in that scene.
Yeah, there was something. Well, here's the problem, everybody, and we all can say this. There are never enough scenes with them together. Yeah. That's the problem. So we're not invested like we could be. I was like, because I was going, wow, finally some scenes with Bobbie and Lucas and Carly together. I mean, there's a few here and there, but like, finally they're together. Like Bobbie and Carly, yes, we've seen things over the years with them, but Lucas, hardly any scenes with his mother. Hardly any scenes with Carly, except until recently. So it's kind of like, oh, I should feel more invested in this whole scene, but it fell flat a little bit. I mean, it was cute. I'm glad they did it. It was for storyline reasons. They should have done it, of course. They had to be together at some point to talk about it, but it fell flat.
There are times where until like Carly will say it, I will forget, oh yeah, that's right, they are brother and sister. Because you're right, we rarely see them having any scenes together.
I know it's funny because we've actually seen more of Lucas and Sam acknowledge their brother and sister than Carly and Lucas. So that's been kind of a thing that's happened more of. And you almost forget that Lucas is part of this family. Like he's part of, because remember, Lucas and Maxie are cousins. You hardly ever see them ever together. Like I know it's a large cast and stuff like that, but like they don't play up enough the relationship sometimes. So when a story like this happens, I think back to the whole Maxie and BJ storyline back in the 90s. Everybody was connected because they showed everybody's relationships together. Mm-hmm. So when it happened, even the Morgan storyline when he died, we saw the way it fell out. We've seen everybody with everybody who was involved, so we were more invested. This one is, we don't see them very often, so it's kind of like it's nice to see them together, and storyline wise, we should see them together. But it just fell flat.
Yeah, and even just the way that Lucas would just say to Bobbie, like, well, about like he seemed very nonplussed, like, no, Brad, you forgot to bring milk home again. Like, really? I feel like it would be a little bit more devastating. Whether you're not trying to do that because you're in front of Wiley, but I don't know. It just seemed Lucas seemed very just like chill with like, yeah, we're getting rid of Wiley. Wiley's really Michael's, and it's fine. We'll just go home tonight. It's gonna be cool. I'll watch some TV. Really?
Somebody in the chat room said, I forgot who it was, the one about you fast, said that they think because he just came out of a coma, Lucas is still finding his emotions and finding everything. I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe. I am not human yet. I'm not human.
Exactly. I've never been in a coma, so I don't know.
So while we have all that going down at the Corinthos household, the one thing that bugged me about that whole sequence is that Nell comes a little early before the reveal happens, talking to Brad. And Brad steps out of the living room to go just talk to Nell and says that, hey, Wiley's over at Willow's. We're getting out of town. Don't you want this? If we stay here, we're for sure going to get caught. Yes. She's escorted up to the front door by Corinthos security and then leaves. Yep. And we even see that Sam was able to come to the door because somebody mentions like, oh, yeah, they're taking care of Nell. But yet Nell is able to walk all the way around to the back of the house.
Yeah, that was weird.
How did that happen? There's no way that anybody would let her out of her sights. And if they did, Sonny would be coming down hard on them.
Yeah, that was a weird. I know there was all trying to give us exposition to get her to go over to. They could do that differently. They could do that totally. Brad could have slipped when they were talking. It could have been done very differently. Mm-hmm. But the fact that she hears the reveal happen was like, well, does she need to hear that kind of, or it could have been told that it happened. It was just weird. You're right. It's like it made no sense, and continuity, folks, continuity.
Yeah, because there was also, I would think if I started hearing that, I'm making a beeline like she did over to Willow's place. But I'm also, as soon as after I get done with my cat fight, I am booking it out of that place. I'm not dawdling around. Let's look at my passport. Here's the photo of my passport and your passport.
Well, hey, she felt like she knocked out that cat fight. I was shocked because I'm like, Willow did keep on fight. Willow's tiny, and she was like, "No, bitch, you are not taking the baby." And they were throwing each other around. I love a good old cat fight. I love it. I'm like, thank you. It's a soap staple. But I was like, Willow was keeping up with her for a while. But then Willow did that thing they always do on shows. She turns her back away from her. And I was like, don't turn her back. I'm like, don't do that. And then Nell.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as they did, like, the baby monitor here, the cry, you're like, she's turning around like, why? Why do you need to turn around?
Babies cry.
It's fine. But also it's weird because that happens in the living room. And so Nell drags her back to the bedroom. Like, what does that happen?
Like, yeah.
Like,
at some point, she was like, I got time to knock her out, drag her body, and put her against the wall, go get my baby, take my time going over all the stuff that I got, and then pick up my baby, and then, we knew she wasn't leaving. Come on.
No, I mean, yeah, she does get caught. Chase and Michael show up. They get the baby, and we already see Nell starting to plant the seeds of this. And I found the scene frustrating when both Brad and Nell are in custody in the cells, that Brad knows how Nell operates. He knows. And the fact that he's being so passive in those scenes of letting Nell set the narrative was so frustrating to me.
I know. Okay, so first of all, we've got to talk about how the twosome came in, and Chase was so funny. He just slid behind her, and it's almost just goes, "You said give her the baby." I was like, "Oh,
yes."
It's very gentle. You said
that's true.
Baby. And he just kind of hands. She's like, "Oh, okay," and she hands the baby over. But to me, it just made me laugh. And then bringing them and putting them in cells across from each other. Yes, cinematically, that's kind of a cute thing, and they can but you're right. It's like, Brad, you know how she is, and Nell's going to turn on you like a bag of leaves. I don't know, anything else, whatever. And so I'm not surprised she's playing that role. I'm not surprised. But to me, the interesting part of that is, Brad has a past, Nell has a past. Who are they going to be? Who are they going to believe? And we still got the whole Julian thing hanging out there at the car. We still got Elisa Olbrich out there with whatever part she. I mean, it's like there's stuff out there still that can work against one of them, I guess, or something. So
yeah, it was frustrating to see Brad be just like, what? Why are you saying that? It was your idea. Like, Brad, come on, you got to stand up and equally, you got to be right up with Nell. Shouting down everything that she's trying to say that you supposedly did. Like, that seems so frustrating to me. Like, come on, Brad, get it together, buddy.
Brad has been frustrating this whole storyline because they've played him so mealy-mouthed. It's like Brad was a villain, so to speak, back in the day. He had some balls. Like, suddenly they snipped him off, and so he's been a patsy for everybody. I mean, it's like completely for Julian, everybody. Like, everybody talks to him, they want to talk to him. It's like, wait a minute, you were a badass at one point. And suddenly you're just like, my life. And it's just like, okay, come on. Like, you should be fighting against Nell. You should have told on Julian, too. I'm sorry, you should have told on Julian. That's another story. But you should have said, Nell, no, this is not going to work, girl. This is not going to work. We know the truth. But he was so meek in those scenes. I agree with you completely.
Now, I mean, I guess because he is given the opportunity by Lucas to say, if there's anything else you're not saying, you say it right now. Does anybody else know? And I mean, Brad tells a half truth. It's like, nobody else. He kind of half truths it about, so he can not implicate Julian at all in knowing about this. But I mean, I feel like he's using Julian as his ace in the hole in case anything blows up. He's counting on Julian to take care of it so he doesn't get exposed.
I think part of it, you might be right. I think part of it is, he's thinking, okay, if I. In the truth of it all, Julian wasn't part of all the beginning stuff anyway. He really wasn't part of that. I mean, he wasn't there.
Yeah.
Julian found out later, and as a whole, he was trying to get them a baby. He was doing something different, and he didn't know. I mean, yeah, he found out that baby wasn't who he was, but in the beginning, he wasn't part of that. So in a way, it was like, well, no, in a way, you're right. It's a half truth. No one was involved in the beginning of this. But yes, once people find out that Julian knew already about this too. Woo, Sonny's gonna. Oh, and Ava was something like. I mean, Ava was right. Sonny's gonna come after him. I mean, it's just kind of like that's the part that's gonna suck for him, is that he was involved at some point, but he tried to get rid of Brad. So we have that that's come out also at some point. He was trying to get rid of him, and Ava looked at him that once. She was like, "Excuse me." He should have gotten that car. She's like, "Excuse me."
Yeah. Yep.
She's not dumb.
No, that's true. And I'm curious to see how that one's going to get brought up because it seemed by the police investigation, they were unable to rule anything that happened that caused the car crash. So there doesn't seem to be any evidence laying around there for us to figure out. I mean, it's really, and Brad doesn't know that it was sabotage. It's only Julian and now Ava is kind of putting two to two together about it. But I feel like there's no smoking gun out there that could expose Julian. So I'm wondering how that's going to come to light.
Well, you know it has to come out. You know, everything comes out. It has to come out. And I think this is the beginning of this part of the story. But the whole thing happened with the car crash that Julian started.
Oh, yes.
And hurting one of his kids again. Like this is something that keeps coming up for him. He tried to do something good, I guess, or something he was trying to do, but it backfired. And Lucas got me. It's just classic Julian Jerome gets things wrong all the time. So I think it has to come out at some point. It just has to. And I don't know how, but the PCPD are the dumbest people on earth anyway. So like do they ever get their man? I mean, like really?
Now, do you see Brad going down for this?
I don't know. I'm really curious what they're going to do. I'm really curious how they're going to play this out because I really don't know. I really have no clue, to tell you the truth. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, the suck part is we never really saw a lot of them together as a couple anyway. So if you were to say like, all right, Brad and Lucas Lucas is going to divorce Brad because of all this.
Yeah.
I mean, again, like as you're saying earlier, because we haven't seen enough of them together as well as just a loving couple, that it's like, okay, so you're divorced now, great. I didn't really see much of you married anyway. It doesn't mean as much to me.
Yeah.
If I'd seen like 2 years of them having a healthy, loving relationship, and then this whole terrible secret starts kind of worming their way into a relationship, I would feel the tragedy of like, wow, they had something great and it's all falling apart over this terrible decision Brad made. But I want to feel more for that relationship, but I can't.
Yeah, I know it's tough because they didn't play the relationship they should have. They just haven't. And I know that Ryan was doing a movie and other things going on at some point, but they just haven't really. They try to play catch up a little bit and do more with them, but then they put them in a coma, so not much you can do there either. I mean, it's kind of like, again, we need, as viewers, we want to care. We want to really feel that this couple, we want to root for a couple or feel for a couple. So when things go wrong, you feel strongly about it. And you're right, this couple hasn't been played enough. This hasn't.
No, I mean, because if it had happened to Sonny and Carly, or if it happened to Jason and Sam, or Maxie and Nathan back at the time, you would definitely feel more about that relationship, just because those characters have been more focused in terms of being being couples.
Even if it was like Carly and Jax, or Alexis and Sonny, like who have kids together but they're not even together anymore, we know that relationship, we feel it, so we know. I mean, it's just kind of like even though folks don't have to feel about Peter, they know how to feel about Peter. Even when something goes down eventually, which it will with Maxie, I'm going to feel something because actually they have played the relationship slowly and kind of showed us, painfully showed us them together. But Shady Sunday. But I do feel like I feel for Maxie because we know that character. So when stuff comes out, it will hurt. The Valentine Nina thing, that we felt that because they did play them off each other's a lot. We saw it. We saw the relationship. So it's kind of like, I agree with you. Like the ones we see and feel, yes, I'm going to feel something. But this one, I feel it a little bit, but not enough for anything.
Yeah. Which is unfortunate. Again, you're right. When you've got a cast that is so large, it is hard to give everybody a time to shine.
It is. And I know it. I mean, I know it is. And I do. And, but I feel like in the rotation, you could do a lot in rotation when someone's on. You could do a lot on screen with some people, and it's just they've made choices for other characters, obviously.
Yeah. Well, we see the Brad, Lucas, and Michael side of it, but we also got to see the Willow side of it, as Chase has to tell Willow what really went down, and that Wiley is not really her baby. Her baby died. Yes. How did you like that side of the storyline?
Okay, Chase. Okay, first of all, Chase. It was the way he was. He was a little weird. And it's like, at one point, is he smiling in the scene? I couldn't tell what was going on there with him. It was a little weird. But Willow, and I think her name was Katie McMullen. I think I said her name Mullen or Mullen. I think I said her name correctly. Was amazing to me. I actually cried on Friday a little bit with her. I thought she did a phenomenal job realizing that her real son, is dead, and that Wiley is not her son. Also, there's so many layers to that. Mm-hmm. And when she said, "Wait a minute," Brad could have told it. We could have stopped all stuff with Shiloh and also what's going on with that. I mean, I'm glad she said. I'm glad the writers put that in there. There's a lot of things that Brad could have stopped because of this that went down, and all the emotions he put her through. I felt in those scenes she really performed and really, really gave us the anguish. And as she was saying, the brother made me cry. She said, and the baby, and he was alone. The one that died. Like, you really didn't have anybody who knew him. Michael didn't even know him, really. It's like, I was like, oh my goodness. Like, I mean, that was like some great writing in that one, but I thought she did an amazing job. So how did you feel about it?
That part at the end where she felt that her baby died alone. That was, like, you can't help but feel touched about that. But there was some parts, throwing some shade because it's a shady Sunday.
Shady Sunday.
Just before that, when she starts monologuing about how Michael was reacting when he found out when he thought Jonah had died. And now it is my turn to feel that pain. I'm like, that was a little bit, acting aside, that was just some clunky exposition to get out, and I don't think it served the scene well.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, I was just watching that, and I was like, ooh, not good. That is taking me out of this.
Yes, and Tara Kendall in the chat room said that, and she agrees with me, Chase was a little dry. He couldn't handle Willow's energy. It's just, there's something a little off. I felt like what I've seen, for all purposes, people who don't like Carson, I will say, when Carly accused Sonny of killing their child, the energy was match for match to me. No matter what you think about the actors or whatever, I feel like the energy matched. When Maxie went off on Lulu after Nathan died, the energy was matched. I mean, it was just, I felt like there were things that are matched, and I felt like it wasn't matched. It was all her. It was all her. I mean, the actress and her, she really pulled it together. She did it. The showcase was her. That's her Emmy reel right there. I mean, it was her complete. I just felt like there was something a little off because it just wasn't there.
Well, because it was interesting where Chase at the beginning is telling her the facts as if he's reciting it off a police report.
Yeah.
Where even Willow's got to say, like, why, don't call him just the baby.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
What are you doing? So I'll be curious to see what this does to Willow and Chase's relationship. I mean, I feel like...
Oh, you already know what I think, folks. I've said it before. We're leading towards a Michael Willow. I think it's going to happen. I hate to say that, but I think we're going to be leading towards... Because she attached to that baby. No matter what happens, she's attached to Wiley.
No, but I mean, look at Sasha. How can you not like Sasha?
I love Sasha, but I think... I don't know. I think it's going to be a little triangle, quadrangle going on, which I don't mind on soaps. Give me a little quadrangle. That's what I mean. But I feel like baby Wiley is going to be the focus for the four of them right now.
I guess. Yeah, I mean, I could see the Michael and Willow thing happening because they played so many scenes of them, especially when they first met, going to the counseling sessions. That you could see them going that direction if they wanted to. But I haven't seen Sasha enough with Chase to make me feel like
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's a viable option as of right now.
Yeah, no. I'm not even saying that she'll go with Chase. I'm just saying that I just feel like because people in the chat room were saying the same thing. They see Michael Willow like you said. They don't see Chase and Sasha. I'm not even saying they're gonna get together. I just have a feeling something's gonna go down. But see, Sasha has another storyline going on with the whole deception thing. So who knows what orbit she'll be in that one. Because somebody said once in a thing I was talking to somebody recently, they're like, what if this Brando guy stays along? And they were saying Brando and Sasha. They can see something down the line with them. Because she might be age appropriate to that time period. So I don't know where she's going, but I love Sasha. I love the character and everything. But I just think Willow and Michael, I think there's something. And and Chase and Michael are good friends.
Yeah.
So that would cause conflict there too. So I mean, I'm thinking soap. I'm thinking as a soap person. I'm not saying what I want to have happen, but I'm thinking of soap. But I think Wiley's going to be, the focal point.
Well, speaking of all these other storylines, where we've got Sasha involved in the deception side, we've got, which of course is Crimson, we've got Nina and Jax deciding, hey, maybe we should go to HR to get out in front of this relationship. Okay.
Yes.
Thanks. I feel like it's, guys, I feel like it's now, like, don't forget, guys, it's 2020. We understand. Okay, here you go. Okay, thanks. And then we also have, while that's happening in the Metro Court, we have Brook Lynn getting told by Ned that, hey, there's nothing we can do about this contract. You're stuck.
Right. Okay, so now, back to the Nina Jax thing, very clunky. But I know what they were trying to do, obviously, because it's 20. They're trying to do, I get that. Yeah. But it was very clunky. But I like them together. I like Brook Lynn. So, I mean, I'm liking the character. I like what they do with her. This is realistic when it comes to music business. I'm in the music business. I know it's contracts are very tough. You have to really watch when you sign them. And this is very timely. So be curious to see how they continue this too, what they're going to do with that. And I'm just curious. But I don't mind. I mean, the storyline's fine. I don't mind.
But the other thing that is frustrating, where Ned is saying there's really nothing we can do, and maybe from a contractual standpoint, no, but the fact that he did cross the line, was inappropriate with her, just at the floating rib, if not beforehand, and there's witnesses to that altercation. The fact that they're not pressing anything forward with that, the fact that they're not even pursuing the investigation, like, well, if he did this with Brook Lynn, he's probably done it with other people that he's represented as well, too. Why aren't we trying to find them down? I feel like there's parts of this that I'm feeling like, guys, you may not be able to contractually do it, but you could also have some other legal recourses as well that you don't seem to be taking.
That's true. I don't know about that. I mean, I guess you're right. I don't think about that. They could have easily went several routes that they've kind of dropped. You're right. He's a Quartermaine. Like, let's get in there and let's start doing some digging. Sonny's her godfather. We saw scenes with her and Sonny regarding Mike, and that was so. Why don't you go to Sonny and go, Uncle Sonny, I need your help? That kind of thing. So I think you're right. There were some things they could have done. I guess I didn't even think about that part. They could have done to get her out of the contract or whatever. But I'm trying to think. Maybe there's a purpose why they're doing this. Maybe down the line we're going to find out. Maybe this is General Hospital, so it may never happen. But maybe we'll find some out.
Well, I mean, certainly they're trying to draw it up where that Brook Lynn has no choice but to. I'm sure Martin goes up to her and says, hey, I can get you out of this contract if you give me your ELQ shares. And Valentina gets some more ELQ shares out of the deal. So I feel like that's the objective for that. But it also feels weird to me that like Ned feels he has no other options. Especially when he was so menacing to that creepy manager at the Metro Court saying, I've got a team of lawyers and they have nothing to do than to just tear this thing apart and find every little thing. Then to the next time that we see Ned going, well, they looked and there's nothing we can do. Sorry.
Well, somebody went, Cater 33090 says, why can't Brook Lynn just put out 3 terrible albums and make better ones with a different name after?
That's true, too. Yeah.
Well, a little side note, just a quick side tangent. Marvin Gaye famously was going to make a really bad album because he owed his soon-to-be ex-wife money in a divorce from the next album. He had put out the big album, What's Going On, which was a big, huge hit back in the 70s. And so he put out this album called Hear My Dear. And actually, it's actually sold okay. It was a decent album, actually. He put out a bad album. It didn't work out that way. So it's kind of funny you say that. If you put out a bad album, it's fine. But then it's like, it's your creativity. Do you want to put out a bad album and have that album out there? I mean, I wouldn't want to have that out there. I mean, that's kind of a crazy thing. But it's kind of funny, Cater, that you said that. Love that.
No, that's true. Because then I feel like then it just becomes more of a story point in your career. Like, well, they did this because they needed to get out of that.
Exactly. So,
cool. All right, that's always going to follow you around.
It's funny.
So the other big stuff we have going down here is what you're excited about, and that is Mob War. Mob War. I know I asked you this question just before we were wrapping up, and you said you were not excited about this. I feel like I don't know if I gave you, because we're running out of show last week, enough time to really explain why you were not thrilled about a return to a Mob War.
Okay, I want to do a side note. On my show, Extra Connections, tomorrow night on After Party Radio, I have Marcus Taggert coming on, Riel Andrews. He's my friend, and we're going to talk about this storyline, of course. He is one of the few bright spots, this is why I brought this up, to have him back on the canvas after 17 years. A great bright spot. And we'll talk about that in a second. The reason why I was not a big mob fan, story fan, it was fun in the beginning, but after a while, all this shooting. I mean, in real life, we have so much of that going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't find it. It's just made me more sensitized, not desensitized. Like I don't want to see that on TV now. Like I don't really want to see shootouts and people getting hurt, and it's just kind of like another person trying to take down Sonny. Like I mean, we know Sonny will never be taken down. I mean, I feel like that's just the end game. Like, well, they'll never be taken down. So, and the idiot cops are just like, bumbling idiots running around. Like, no, people are dying, and I feel like that to me is just a boring way out. I know he's a mobster in quotes, but I like the other stuff. I like the way they were going with his character, not reverting back to that. I'm just not a fan at all. No.
Well, it is interesting when you had, Cyrus saying to it, as well as whatever her name is, the blonde that was hanging out with
Yes.
Ava and Finn, Cassandra, both saying, "Oh, you're getting soft to Sonny," and I'm thinking, well, there hasn't been a mob war in a decade, maybe.
Right.
So it doesn't seem like he's soft. He's got a really good control of what's going on in his operation, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's everything's good apparently in the hood.
Yeah.
So to speak. So I mean, he's doing fine. So I mean, that's the whole point is that no one. But I mean, and this villain, is it Cyrus or whatever the F his name is?
Yes.
It's like I'm just not even. I don't. It just. I mean, he's cookie cutter. At least could have got a big name or something. He's just cookie cutter villain. Him and Jordan have a past because I mean, whatever. I mean.
All right. How excited were you to see that was finally where the Jordan storyline was going on with, especially with Taggert? Like, oh, now it ties into the mob war.
I'm glad because we do know she was part of DA. She has a whole past with that, so we knew that already. I gotta tell you, I loved me some scenes with my two black men fighting back and forth with my Curtis and Ted. He was like, "You following me?" Like he came outside and was like, "I'm gonna confront him."
Yep.
And I loved that. I loved it. But then I did love the fact that they had them all go back to her office, and he was like, "No, we should clue Curtis in on everything."
That's what frustrated me most about that Jordan was so reluctant to do that. And I was like, come on, Jordan, what are you expecting? If you're married to this guy, what are you gaining by being so secretive and standoffish to Curtis about this whole thing?
I agree. It was a weird choice thinking how much they've been through together. Making like pre-show and on the show, they've been through a lot together. So I'm thinking, why would you hide that? And when Curtis was like, "Is Trina your daughter?" And I was like, where'd you get that from? I was like, okay.
I know.
And when she said, "Yeah, I have children with every person I was with," I started laughing. I'm like, okay, like she's not the mother.
What do you think of the reveal as Trina as Taggert's daughter?
I love, her name is Cindy Michaela. I love that actress who plays Trina. I think she's a breath of fresh air. She's a great little actress. She's so good with everybody. I love her and Ava together. I love that kind of how they kind of surrogate kind of mother-daughter thing they have going on, mentor thing going on. Why not? I guess he's black, she's black. I don't know. I guess it's fine, but now I'm curious. Like, who's the mother?
Yeah, who's the mother? And then, I mean, there was, towards the end of last year where she makes that comment that she did that same DNA test that Aunt Stella did. And where's that that's connection in Port Charles that she's supposed to have? So unless it's on the mother's side, I mean.
Yeah, they dropped that too. And I mean, and it's like, and I know that Renee Watson right now is on a show called Bob Heart to Abishola. She's on that as a supporting character on CBS. So she's busy filming that, I guess. But I was like, yeah, they dropped that. I mean, so I think they're so frustrated they drop things. But I think, I was thinking, okay, so when Taggert left, he could have gotten with somebody and Trina would be the right age.
Yeah.
Actually, if a few years later. But I was trying to think, I was trying to remember who he left with. And wasn't he with Hannah, which was the girl that was with Sonny? I was saying, is Trina biracial or does she have a black mama? For me, it's about the mama. I'm just curious, like, who's the mama?
Yeah.
Who's the baby mama? That's what I want to know.
Because it made me think that Curtis, and people online were speculating this too, that Trina was going to be a daughter of Curtis's that he didn't know he had.
Right,
but
I thought that too.
It seems like that is stroking out. But I don't think the show can expect us to forget that they said that she's got some DNA match in Port Charles, and like who the heck that is.
I know, it's bugging the crap out of me they did that. So I mean, but yeah, I'll say it's fine that Trina, I guess, Taggert are they have different last names though. So what's the story with that? And like, I'm really curious. Like, show me the mama, and then I can from there. I can actually comment and see what's going on. I'm like, what is going on there? I'm not sure. I love her. I think the girl plays Trina. Cindy McKay. She's the bomb. I love her to death.
Real briefly, because you mentioned Brando, as we're getting ready to wrap up here, we see Brando saying like, "Hey, you know what? Yeah, I'll do your story as well. I'll pretend that I'm Dev's father, but I'm leaving town anyway, and Dev's going to boarding school." What was the whole point of this storyline?
Something's gonna go wrong. I thought the same thing. I go, really? I thought that's how we're gonna end it. It's gonna go out with a whimper. I have a feeling it's not gonna all go out with a whimper. I think something has to happen because the character of Dev, they set him up so prominently on the show. I mean, he still has the whole Josh stuff going on, and him and Cameron have this kind of frenemies thing, and I mean, it's like, and he's entrenched with Sonny, and like, there's too many things going on that if they just drop it like this, I'll be pissed. I'm like, this is like, really? That's it? So there has to be something more going on.
I mean, I guess, but I was never a huge fan of the storyline to begin with. So if they want to end it like this, I mean, I guess fine, and then let's just move on and forget it ever existed, I suppose, because it's ending like it began for me, which is like, why are we doing this? So
yeah, I get. I mean, if they feel the storyline isn't working and then we get rid of it, I'm all for it. Then bye, ship them off to boarding school. See you later. And I'm an advocate for that. When stories aren't working, cut them out. Sorry, Days of Lives with your year ahead. We can't cut anything out. But these shows, a little shady Sundays to them too. But these shows are 5 weeks in advance, 6 weeks in advance. So they can cut out stories. So I guess it's fine. But I still think it's kind of pissy. Like, you did all of this, and then bye. See you at boarding school.
Well, because it's weird because he's Trina's kissed him, Joss has kissed him, and he's been standoffish with everybody. So it's maybe he does have feelings for Cameron. Could that be the case? But we haven't really explored that. So I mean, who knows what? I feel like they've tried all these balloons that they're tossing up in the air for Dev, and nothing's really floated. And they're like, okay, maybe we just send him away.
Yeah, and that happens to us. So all the time. They'll write somebody out in a second and be like, okay, well, they tried it. I wish they'd do it with Peter, but that's another story.
You know who I'm never sending away, though? And that's you, James Lott Jr. Never sending you away.
Frank Moran.
Look at that. James Lott Jr., I cannot thank you enough for taking time out of your Sunday to fill in for Carla, to share your thoughts. I could talk to you for much longer about this, but Josh is kicking us out. Thanks, Josh.
Thanks, Josh. Yes, I know. We take off for 2-3 hours, I guess. No, it was my pleasure doing this. We'll do this again. I wish I was in the studio. I should be there. I couldn't get there in time. Folks, you don't know this. I live like 30 miles away, so I couldn't get there in time for the show to start. So I thought, I'll Skype in.
Yeah.
This is my lovely home. My ring, my microphone. I record stuff back there. So it's my bedroom. So.
We're getting a sneak peek inside the life. It's like a James Lott Cribs episode. Perfect. James Lott, please, not that people need to know because they already know, but why not? It's always fun to hear you say it. Where can they follow you to find out everything you're up to?
All right. So again, follow me on and also.
Yes! Folks, thanks so much for joining us here. As always, like us on Facebook, give us 5 stars on iTunes, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Carla will be back next week. We missed her. She's having a fun time at an award show tonight. Again, huge thank you for the man that created the show, James Lott Jr., for coming by on this Sunday to talk with us. We'll see you next week for an all-new episode of the JH Report right here on AfterBuzz TV. Bye, everybody!
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.